kind of wanted to hit the reset button this last week, and I took more days off than I usually do. I got a little burned out trying to find stuff, and then I just wanted to take some time off, clear my mind, and then get back to it. So I took an extra couple days than I normally do, and so I'm kind of looking at this as kind of a restart. I haven't had the year I've wanted to have after getting off to a pretty optimistic start in Hawaii, and I feel really good about the work I've put in since the weekend into the few days this week. So, you know, I believe that I'm really close to some great things, and sometimes that can be disguised right before it happens, and I'm believing that that's been the case, and just need a couple confidence building rounds or whatever it may be, and then feel like I go on a really nice run. So that's the plan, and you know, 3 top 10s to this point wasn't really what I had planned. So I'd love to shoot up leaderboards and be a little more consistent and have chances to win golf tournaments. I think both guys wish they could play. Obviously, Scottie's is a little different reason. He doesn't want to be here over what he's doing, but you know what I mean? I think he wished he could be in 2 places at once. So I think for the tournament, it's unlucky to have that be the case, because they're both tremendous players and big names and local guys, as you mentioned. So, and I love competing against them. I think it's a side note because obviously Scottie's been the hardest guy to beat in the world for a while now. So but I think in general, you know, my approach to this week is it's very hard to win events on the PGA Tour. I'd love to win this event. It would mean more to me than most events, and I think that can be a good thing to think about it that way. I get really fired up for it, and it's a good opportunity to kind of, like I mentioned earlier, reset the season too. So I can look at it even just as a place that I can maybe look at a successful season and say, you know, it wasn't what I wanted until the Byron Nelson, and then you know, I used a tournament that's been so special to my heart to turn things around and go forward and start a nice run. So yeah, I think it would be incredible, regardless if those 2 are in the field or not. It wouldn't mean any. If I won the tournament someday, I wouldn't put a asterisk on those 2 not being in the field. But it's cool to. It's always cool to be back here and feel like, you know, you're one of the local guys, you know. Yeah, it's a very good question, because I know Scottie. I've known Scottie since he was really, really young. Not that I wasn't, but he was really, really young. And I think he's a better person than he is a player. And having known somebody and seen them come up, and you know, he obviously went to University of Texas, and I'm nothing but extremely excited and happy for him, and it's well deserved and all that. And then, you know, on the flip side, like, it's kind of the first time I've ever looked at somebody younger than me and been in like that I've driven inspiration. Like, I'm inspired by what he's doing. It makes me want to go out and get better, and that's always been someone that's been older than me. And it's kind of the first time I've really felt that way about someone younger, especially because I, you know, play a decent amount of rounds with him here in town. So I'm constantly seeing it, and I'm trying to beat him at home. And when he's playing better than I am, you know, it sucks. I don't enjoy it when I'm side by side, because there were however many years of our life it wasn't that way, and it's flipped, and I feel like I've got plenty of runway to be able to get it back. But it's inspiring at the same time to try to make that happen. So I have nothing in my way of being able to make that happen, but my own self. I've got enough. I believe in my ceiling, and I believe my ceiling's as high as anybody's, and I just have to get each part of my game up towards its ceiling. And I've got a couple areas that are about at it right now, and a couple areas that need to get there. And if they do, then I feel like we could go on runs together, I guess. Yeah, I think a lot of like things I've struggled with that have been that have certainly affected me mentally is a lot of comparisons, being stuck in comparison mode or life and death, golf's life and death, and just not being able to separate it from real life and letting results dictate who you are. And it's hard not to some extent, especially when you have so much success early in your career, and not only are you compared by the outside world to that person, but I have a hard time not wondering why I can't do that every week too, right? So good podcasts, good reading, starting to reach out to maybe work with some people on, I have in the past, on on figuring that out. And so I feel like the last couple years, I've been a lot better mentally than I was at other points in my career. And I think it's a kind of a rare position to be in. So there's not a lot of experience to draw on, but there are people who do a good job talking about it and having kind of different ways, whether it's the way you think, the way that you approach it, different actual breathing stuff you can do, just different tactics on how to manage it, and just kind of bringing you down to reality and say, this is just what I do. It's not who I am, So it's hard to separate that a lot of times, but I feel like I do a lot better job of that now than I used to.